All right, hang on. I actually have to redo the YouTube thing because it actually has to be display capture and not window capture for this to actually work. So let me put this up first and then get the stream out on broadcast first because otherwise it doesn't work all that well. Um, Here we go. Let me actually just play a move as well here so I don't get like deleted or something. Um, my move, yes, that's an easy move. So let's actually go here and get this set up. I didn't get this ready beforehand, unfortunately. That's my fault. Now I need to do this. And make the announcement, and I should be fine. Took a while to find a game today, but 6Q games are generally pretty good. Just basic Joseki right now. That's definitely getting a pincer here. High pincer. So I want to threaten both these groups. I definitely don't mind him jumping, because he doesn't really have a good way to deal with this particular stone. So I guess that's a fine answer. I'm just going to go down here and just solidify my corner. I really don't think he can actually attack. And coming down here also takes away a little bit of eye space from this, although this isn't really under threat. I am plenty happy just to do this. Plenty happy to get some bottom territory here. That's generally not a good move to push first. If you want to play, you would just play J4 instead of pushing first. It's not a big difference, but there is a difference. It's fine. Jumping out this way is more important to kind of like block off his potential up here. Because even if he flies down, it's not such a big deal. Also, jumping up here puts a little bit of pressure over here. So you're blocking off his influence, which he like the main purpose of doing this is to give up bottom territory for a bit of influence. But for me, like right now, like shaving off this influence is going to be very crucial. So like these three stones, the purpose of these three stones is not very good right now. There's not that much purpose in these three stones. I hope he doesn't disconnect. Some people do have connection issues, and I understand that. Okay, that's fine. That's, I mean, I guess that's okay, but that does actually give me Sente over here, which I'm going to do this with. Because overall, you still need another move to really seal this off. You still do need you actually do need another, you do actually need another move to actually seal this off. There's limited potential over here because of this, so that move is going to be, that's going to be my move. I'm actually going to invade here right now. But because I've actually done this, like a forcing move like this, because I did this and he didn't answer, that's not a good move. A forcing move like this would actually draw some kind of answer right now. Actually, those probably weren't good moves. Because he can actually block like that. That's fine. I still kind of like, I still have successfully reduced his influence over here. Like, this influence is pretty much useless right now. I don't think he quite gets, like, he can't actually threaten me. He actually can't really threaten me. Uh, because this is, like, this shape is not too bad. That doesn't make any sense. I'm just going to clasp. Actually, I probably shouldn't have done that, but whatever. This is more or less already alive, I think. If I do this, he actually has that squeeze. I'm going to go ahead and play this. I'm actually going to go ahead and play this just to see how this turns out. It's a dangerous move for me to actually play. Actually, no, it's not. Yeah, see, the thing is, like, I can just come out this way. Oh, wait, no, that was a bad move. Never mind. Oh, wait, no, I can't do that. Oh, snap, I messed up. Oh, I definitely messed that up. Yeah, I can't actually do that. That's fine. I can just give up a little bit over here. It's my bad. It's a weird thing to do. Because now I can actually just do this, I believe, and live over here. Because this is actually a real eye. And I don't think there's a way he can stop me from, like, living here. Yeah, so if I do this, this is actually alive. I screwed up over here, by the ways. You just do this, and then you just clap over here. It's fine. But I did screw up there, though. Like, I did majorly screw up here, though. These two stones are really not worth it right now. I'm actually not going to answer that. Because something over here is going to be much, much bigger. And I'm actually going to jump out first with the goal of threatening this, which he has to actually answer that. Yes, he can actually cut here, but that's actually not all that big right now. Actually, that's probably not a good move, but whatever. That's fine. I don't think that move is really that big right now. He's not going to threaten this group, so I don't really care. Um, I'm just going to do this first. I'm not actually trying to kill him here, because I can't. I am actually just trying to get that and get some territory. I'm going to do things like this as well. Oh wait, that's actually not good. He doesn't have to. Oh, I think he should have played F12 there. Um, Definitely think he should have played F12 there. Gonna flatten out his influence over here.
Undo requested. Undo granted.
I don't think that move's quite as good. I'm gonna take advantage of this over here first. He actually has two groups to worry about now. Yeah, this doesn't really work well for him because um, I can do this, and he doesn't have enough liberties
You have
regardless.
won.
Yeah, I'm actually not ahead by that much here. And I didn't play this game particularly well because there was a lot of like I screwed up way hard over here. I wasn't really watching. I was just trying to do some stuff, and it didn't really work out for me. So this here is fine. This here is actually perfectly fine. I did this pincer. I honestly probably should have just like done this slower pincer. But I did this pincer because like that's the move that black would actually want to make for these three, and it puts pressure on this as well. So he jumps out, I'm going to jump out, getting the bottom territory. I don't really like this move because like this allows me to put more pressure on these three stones. That just like gives me a little bit of a base. That was unnecessary. Like I'm not going to generally like. Let's say you do this. If I do this, you can just simply like uh, do something like this, and that's actually not good for me. So I would actually not cut there. Because like cutting here, I get this stone, but you would wrap me around, and that's just not good for white. So that was a kind of a wasteful move. I'm gonna go down there. I probably shouldn't have played down there. I probably should have just like kept forcing on this side. But I wanted to solidify the corner territory, so that move actually cost me a bit. But I think like either like just ignoring this and playing something like this, or playing something like this is bigger, or just like uh, continue jumping out and forcing on this is better. That was just a territory grab move, but not the best move. Coming down here, I don't think is that great. Um, and that move I don't have to answer, so that actually jumps out. That actually allows me to jump out here, which is a pretty big move because the whole reason that black is like the whole reason black is doing this is to actually get influence over here. So giving me the Sente and jumping out over here, letting me jump out over here is pretty big. I actually think M3 is actually fairly big right now. But of course, like if you do that and do this, like I said, I think like M3 is better than M4 right now. But this gives me complete Sente to go over here. Um, so like that makes me break that corner there. That I don't think is a great move. That's obviously a really bad move. I don't know what I think like I don't know exactly, but maybe something like this is a lot. I think something like this is a lot better. I mean, black would actually have if black actually tries to prevent you from going, you can just come out this way or something. You're not really like white is actually like not in trouble. White's not actually in trouble here. There's plenty of ways he can actually make life. There's also like this move, but I don't really want to do this move right now. I don't think it's very good. But white, these stones are generally not that much in trouble. But that's a bad move by white. It's a very bad move by white. Of course, these pushing stones don't really help the cause. Um, Here, I believe the best move is just this. Force white to do this and then come up here. Because then, like, white might actually have a problem with living, and he might actually have to. He might actually have to do. He might actually have to do stuff like this to actually live, and it's pretty damaging for white. You want like the purpose of attacking this group is actually not to kill this group. You're not really going to be able to kill this group. To me, like the better move for white would probably be something like this. Um, the purpose of attacking white's group here is actually not to kill white's group here. You're probably not going to be able to do that. The purpose of white's group is like try to surround white's group where he has to make like damaging moves to actually live. And when he actually does that, you can get an advantage. And this game is pretty close. So if white makes a bunch of damaging moves in the end, like black gains a huge advantage. That I don't really understand the whole he's still trying too hard to kill this group. This group is not really killable at this point. There's an eye up here, and if I and there and because this is Sente, there's an eye down here as well. So, like I said, I did screw up here because I had to do a bunch of damaging moves. Yeah, like this is alive. So you would I don't exactly know what you would do. Maybe like something like this. But or you could just or like at this point black's like significantly ahead, so you would go ahead and you would either go ahead and cut this or you would do something else. Like you've gained because I did all these because I did all these damaging moves. Black has gained such a lead right now that you would just like right now like after this and after I do this, you would just go ahead and do something like this. Like black would be way ahead at this point. Because like white's only territory is here and here, and there's this cut. There's this cut later. There's not much territory here. You already have this, and like basically jumping up, threatening this group, and making this territory. On the other hand, you're going to have enough to win. You don't have to kill this group here, and this group, like if you really calculate it out, it's really not killable. So this, me doing this was a bad move. This just playing it out's not a very good move. But black is still significantly ahead here because of the damage I did to myself around here. He does that, but that's going to shrink his lead by a lot because there's just much bigger moves than this right now. Like I said, I do believe like the biggest move is like something like this, or easily, if I were black, I would definitely play P13 to increase the potential of my territory here. Because right now, like black is ahead right now just by the shape. White doesn't have much territory. So to increase your lead, like if you think about this, the only thing that really that allows you to do is to cut these two stones. And yes, while these two stones could actually be maybe like 6 or 7 points, something like white being able to play something like this is going to be a lot more devastating than like you cutting these two stones. That's a good ending move, but right now in the mid game, it's not big enough to actually do. So this is just the bad judgment of like how much mid game stones are actually worth. Um, I'm gonna jump out, but I do actually believe that this is a better move. So I jump out. He does that. I'm going to go ahead and cover over. I'm going to do that. That's also another bad move because like the only thing you can do here is do G2 and then I can just do F2. So you get a couple more points here. But the thing is this just not worth as much as like a move like this or like other like mid-game moves. So I'm going to curl here and then do this. And like I've gained so much territory. Like I was down by 10 points, but now I just gained all those 10 points back. Plus I've made this side a little bit stronger and your group is still not alive right now. I actually think this is probably a pretty big move, but I just didn't make it. So I'm going to do this. I think the best answer here is actually to do this. If you did this, I would probably just left it alone because I obviously can't cut. So the trade between this and this is good for white. Black should have answered here. So like when someone peeps, you don't always connect. You don't always connect when someone peeps. You have to look at the best answer available, and I think the best answer is actually here. So he connects. That's a good advantage for me. I'm going to do this to flatten out his territory. This I would, if I was black, I would probably just answer and just do this. I mean, there's actually a lot of territory down here for you to protect, and you're not that much behind, so you could actually get it later. So doing this, letting me do this first, and then of course doing that. I should have done this first because this actually just this cut puts black in a very bad position. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this first. He's gonna go up. I'm going to come down here, and black needs to solidify this. Black actually does need to solidify this. I would probably do something down here, or I might like just fly up to try to get out. Or I might just like keep on doing this to try to get out and stuff. And try to fight with this here. But remember, like if you actually make this stronger, you can actually put my group here under threat. So you have to be aware of all the groups on the board because you have to be aware that this group right here is not very strong. And then I have another weak group here and you only have one weak group to deal with. Yes, this group's not really that strong, but you can always play like M15 and that would be fine. So that's kind of like where we are. That's kind of where it is right now. Me doing this and then you trying to protect this is a very, very bad idea. Because the purpose of me doing this is actually just to cut off the return home from this stone right here. So that played perfectly well into it. I'm going to clamp up here. And then of course, doing this is going to be very damaging for black because you can't really solve this issue. Going down here is very bad. And then the game ends right there because the game ends right there. White's only ahead by about 10 points, but it's very hard to recover from this because white already has all this territory down here, and now you have a problem up here. If you do this, that is sente for me, and I wouldn't have to answer. I would just go somewhere else, and I would pull even more ahead. So that's where the mistake is. That's where a lot of the mistakes were actually made. This is not like I said. This is actually not a good move. Because you have too many problems over here. I did this first just to see what black would actually do. This is basically like a use thing. This is basically just to see a response. It doesn't really hurt me to actually do this because you have to connect. And having this stone here puts a little bit more pressure on this shape. So that's why I did this first. This is not a great move, but this is something that I would do first before a fight because I know you have to respond and it gives me an extra stone there. So this shape, like I said, once white does something like this, you could actually jump because if white does this then, if you jumped, I would still do this first. If white actually does this, you can just come over top and see if you can actually kill these stones. But white does actually have moves like this though, so you do have to be careful. This is just kind of hard to deal with. I would honestly just do this. If white does that, you could just do this and then do this. And I think that would be a perfectly fine response for black. Black gets a lot of territory down here and he still has a little bit of potential up here. I think that's the way it should actually be played. Black down here is fairly safe. The S19 move is generally sente. So if you play S19, I play T17, you would actually play N18. This group is more or less okay. But the thing is, black was actually ahead. Black was actually pretty far ahead in this game. Black was actually pretty far ahead in this game until you did this move. Because this move is just not big enough. The failure the failure to determine like which move was actually big, the failure to determine like which move was actually big right now would actually cost black the game, because like making this move and then this move gives me 2 free moves on the board, and that completely lets white erase the deficit and start pulling ahead. What about J7? J7's really not that big. I mean, like, if you look at this, like, the potential here is only like 4 or 5 points. Like, there's just not much territory right here. And remember, like, black's M5 is not really Sente. You can take these 2 stones. All I really have to do is connect here, and I'm still alive. So, like, this is not very big. This is not very big. It doesn't really threaten this group. This group is going to be fine. So, like, there's not much value in this. Like, you can trade this for this move, and I would actually take that trade for white. So, like, judging the value of mid stones and carefully considering like how much a move like this is worth is very, very important. Because if you really think about it, this move is exactly worth these 2 stones, and there's much bigger moves than these 2 stones right now. So that's actually what let me actually win the game. So that is going to be today's game. I do have something to do today. I might be back tonight, but for right now, that's going to be just one game right now. Like and subscribe. I'll be playing tomorrow most likely, and I will see you guys later.